Hello, everyone. Mr. Adams here again, fifth grade teacher at Union Terrace Elementary. Today I'm here with Odysseyware Training Part 2. In today's lesson, I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit more detail on what you will see when you're inside a lesson. I will also cover how to message your teacher. So watch this video and see if it helps. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you already logged in to the Odysseyware program. And again, what you'll first see is this video. Now, if you already unclicked this box, then you will go to a different page. But the most important thing to go to is our light bulb, our Learn section. When I go to my Learn section, again, what I'm looking at is my daily assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and take you in this first reading assignment to show you the tools. So when I click this arrow, it now takes me inside my first reading lesson. So you'll notice in the top center bar, in my nav bar, I have what my assignment is for today. So it says assignment number 1, reading for meaning. It also includes section, what section I'm in. This is section 1 of 5, and what question I'm in, question 1 of 8 when I go to those questions. I can jump back and forth between my sections and my questions. If I click question, it takes me right to my questions. If I click section, it takes me back to the story, and the number line will take me to each separate section of that story. So if I am in section 1 of the story, what features can I access while I'm reading? Well, first I want to show you the parts of the story. So as I scroll down, the lessons will have things like the objectives. What are my goals for this lesson? The vocabulary. Most vocabulary pieces will come with a vocab arcade, which is some games that go with the vocabulary. And then it'll go down to have the main part of the passage. When you click Read Next Section, it will take me to the next part. Many lessons will include things like comics, pictures, and videos, but the biggest part will be your text. As you continue to read through the story, when you get to a part where they want you to start to answer questions, you will see a button that says Work on Questions. When I click that, again, it will take me to the questions for that section. Something important here in the questions section. First of all, I'll get to choose my answer. Then I will have a button that will take me to the next question. I will have a button when I'm finished that will let me turn it in. If I click on the Turn It In button, it will remind me if I have any questions that are unanswered, and it will ask me if I want to continue. So if I would like to continue and hand it in to your teacher, you'll click Yes, please. If I feel like I still have more work to do, I will click No, thank you. Also, in the middle, if you have a comment or a question on what you're looking at, you can send a message right to your teacher. If I click on Ask for Help, it will take me to a message box. I can type in my message and send it, and it will go directly to my teacher. So that Ask for Help button, very, very, very important. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and take you back to this top nav bar. So when I'm ready and I think I'm done with the assignment and I've turned it in, you can go back to your assignments and courses up top, or you can go back to the section of the story. So I'm going to go back to the main part of the story just to give you an idea of some of the tools that are also available to me. You'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, I have 4 tools in a toolbar. I have print. Obviously, what print does, it can give you some options. It will let you print the story, or it'll let you print your notes. I'll show you notes here coming up. There is a reference button. How the reference button works is, let's say I'm in the story and I find a word that I don't know the meaning of. Let's say, for example, I don't know what declarative means. I highlight it, and then I click my reference button. When I click my reference button, it will give me the definition and some information about that word. So if I need to know what declarative means, I highlighted it, I click the reference button, and now I have a box that gives me information about that word. Inside that box, I can copy and paste if I need to, if I want to save that for my notes. Again, I'll show you notes here coming up. When I'm finished with my reference, I click that button again and it goes away. Here's an interesting feature for our non-English speakers. The next button on our toolbar is Translate. If I need something translated, again, I'm going to start by highlighting it. So I'm just going to highlight a sentence or two here. And then I'm going to click the Translate button. When I click the Translate button, it's going to take me to a list of languages I want to translate to. Most of us, I assume, will be using English or Spanish, but there are many other languages here for people who need them. So I'm going to go ahead down to Spanish and click it so you can see what that looks like. When I click it, it's going to first translate it into the text. You'll notice in the text box is a play button. When I click the play button, it will speak it in that language. So I'm going to click the play button so you can hear this sentence in Spanish.
Para la mayoría de las personas, sin embargo, el significado de una oración es generalmente claro si se conoce el significado de cada palabra y si la oración se puntúa o se pronuncia correctamente.
All right, so you will be able to translate any text, and that does include in your quizzes and tests as well. Finally, you have a text-to-speech button. So if I need paragraphs read to me, and I'm not going to highlight a whole paragraph, but again, I'll just highlight a sentence. And then I click the text-to-speech button. It's going to give me a choice of a couple different voices that I can choose from. Karen, Igor, Sindhu, Michael, Donna, okay? So when I highlight that sentence, and then I click on someone's name, it's going to go and read that for me out loud.
Most sentences may be understood as they are written or spoken, without help. This fact is what makes the picture above humorous.
Okay, it's a little bit robotic. You can kind of explore a little bit with the different voices, which one you like. They do all sound a little bit different.
This sentence is a declarative sentence or a plain statement of fact.
You can explore a little bit which voice you like the most and which one works the most for you. So this toolbar is going to be very useful during your lesson to help you get through the lesson and understand everything in it. Another thing that is available, if I go back to the first page, on your first page, it's going to have a little purple tab, which is How To. When I click on that How To button, that's going to take me into a little introduction to notes, okay? So what it says is, teachers and students, to add a note, click in any of the boxes that appear as you run your mouse along the left side of the assignment. Students, you can color code your notes or use them as tabs to mark important areas. When you are done, click Save. If you want to get rid of it, click Delete. You can print just the notes you've created or all the notes for that assignment. And then when you want to get rid of this tutorial, you'll click Dismiss. I might leave it there personally for the first few times you do the lessons. As I take my mouse to the left-hand side and I run it down that bar, you see these little gray boxes show up. When I decide I need to put a note in here, I click on that gray box and it gives me the option to type in a note. So I can type this section is important, or maybe I find an important detail that I want to highlight and I type it in my note box. I can color code them. Maybe blue is vocabulary notes. Maybe orange is notes I think will help me with the questions. When I'm finished with my note, I click Save. And now that note is listed here as my note. And anytime I want to bring it back up, I click on my note and there it is for me again. And if I want to delete it, I click the Delete button or Save. And again, when I'm ready, if I would like to, I can print the full assignment. I can print all notes from teachers and for yourself, or you could just print your notes. All right, so that note button is going to be very important to you as you go through these lessons. So I've taken you through just the breakdown of the lesson. I've taken you through the question section, how to message your teacher during a lesson, how the toolbar works, and the notes. I just want to take you back to the courses section one time to show you a little bit about the scores, and then we'll talk about the message center. So I'm going to go ahead in the top bar, and I'm going to click courses. And when I click courses again, it's going to show me the courses that are assigned for this student. If I'm going into ELA 5, it tells me my score to date. If I click on my score to date, it's going to tell me my score on each assignment. It gives me a progress bar. When I click on the progress bar, it tells me how far I am in each lesson. Okay? If I click on a lesson, it gives me a very, very detailed breakdown of my due dates. So if I'm in ELA 5, notice 1 lesson per day marked with an L. The Q are quizzes. The R is reference. It will tell me what day each part of this lesson will do. Again, 1 lesson per day. At the bottom, it will tell me my teacher. It'll tell me how many assignments I have for the entire course. It'll tell me how many assignments I need to finish per day. It should start by saying 1, but if you fall behind, it will say more than that, and how many days are remaining. Please keep track of the pacing. This pacing says this student is 2 days behind. When you start next Monday, it should start you on time. When I click on the pacing again, it will take me back to the list of courses and my due dates. So pay attention to that pacing. It's going to be very important. Last thing I'll show you during the video part 2 is how to message your teacher. In the top bar next to Learn is a tab for message. When I click on message, it takes me to my main mailbox. Any messages from the school district or your teacher will show up in this mailbox. Currently, this student does not have any messages from the teacher, only 1 message from the Allentown School District. The most important part for you will be this button in the top right, which says Compose. When I click on Compose, this will let me send a message to my teacher. In the right-hand box, you will see the name of your teacher. Since this is a demo account, currently it does not have any teacher names, but you will see your teachers here. You will be able to put in a subject. You will be able to type in a message. I need help understanding multiplying fractions. Then I can click send that message to my teacher, and then that will go into Mr. Adams or any of your teacher's mailboxes for you to get answered. So that's going to be very important. If you have questions or concerns, please send us messages. We will be checking every school day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We will be checking those messages. And finally, just to wrap up again, I mentioned this in video part 1, but it's very important when you are finished to click this sign out button. So when I am finished, I click my sign out. That's going to take me back to my main login screen. So those are just some of the basics of how you go into a lesson and how you message your teacher. I hope these lessons help you get through your new Odysseyware curriculum. Good luck. We're going to be checking out your scores, so please do the best you can and stay tuned for future videos if we feel like you need more information. Take care, stay healthy, thanks.